Oh, cool. Ghostbusters headphones. Do they help you listen to the podcast now?
No, Chris. What helps you listen to the podcast is silence.
Drain for Twinkies and coffee and a busted chain. No more donuts, no more caffeine rain. Just saving the city and feeling the strain.
Hello, welcome to the last of the Petty Cash. My name's Darren McQuade, the Magic Ghostbuster, and this is
Chris Carter from the Spirit of 84.
So, first up, just want to apologise for the slight delay in this podcast by a few days. Just life, work, health, all these things just get in the way sometimes, don't they?
Yeah, it's been quite a busy time for me and Darren the past couple of weeks, and we do have to sort of set a little bit of time to one side to record a couple of episodes. So
the stuff just got in the way and we never really managed to do it.
No.
But we're here now, and that's all that matters. I think first thing we're going to talk about is Ecto Glows. They've just come up. We are talking about some other things in the podcast. We're going to be answering your questions that you've kindly gave us, and we're going to be looking at the most expensive stuff on eBay. But Ecto Glows.
Ecto Glows. Yes, what can I say? I think
they're finally here.
They're finally here, yeah.
So Ecto Glows were probably one of the more sought after figures. It was a bit weird with the original Ecto Glows. Before sort of Afterlife, they were £100 figure on average. And then one auction on eBay later, they were going for sort of $3,000 a set.
Yeah.
And when Hasbro started re-releasing stuff, this is the one everyone always commented on it. It's like, re-release the Ecto Glows, re-release the Ecto Glows. It almost got annoying hearing people mention about Ecto Glows.
Yeah.
They finally done them as a San Diego Comic Con exclusive.
Yeah.
But are they?
I don't think they was ever going to be solely a San Diego Comic Con exclusive. Obviously, it helps with the hype of the Comic Con. Most things which become a San Diego Comic Con exclusive do end up out there, and they're normally available to buy. I think obviously myself and Darren touched on this a few podcasts back when we spoke about coming back from New York and having spoken to Hasbro. We did, and I don't want to be the man who goes, "I told you so," but I did tell you so. I said, don't get caught by scalpers, don't go paying through the nose. Hasbro have assured me that they're going to be available to everybody.
And they've certainly been available to everybody.
You know, so I know there was a little bit with the Ecto one, Ecto Glow.
The Ecto Glow Ecto 1. Yeah. So that was exclusive to the Hasbro Pulse members to begin with.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm only really talking for the UK because I think it's still available in the US.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's still available.
But in the UK, I don't think it ever made it onto general sale, did it? Or if it did, it wasn't.
It wasn't for very long. It was on general sale, but not for very long.
Yeah.
And also, the reverse has happened. So over here, the Ecto Glows are still available, which surprises me. It really does.
Yeah, like I thought they would sell. I actually thought they'd sell out again because I think they were available for maybe 1 or 2 hours to Hasbro Pulse.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be the same sort of thing. They might go on general sale, but not for long.
Yeah.
And here we are, a month later almost, and they're still available.
Obviously, the Ecto 1 sold out over here, whereas in America, reverse happened. The Ecto Glow sold out, but the Ecto 1 was still available.
Yeah, so it's quite weird, really. I mean, we bought Hasbro Pulse membership just so we can make sure we can get these.
Yeah.
I've bought 2 sets. I think you bought 2 sets because I plan to open one and keep one.
Exactly the same. I bought 2 sets for myself, 2 sets for Darren, and 1 set for Simon Gray, who asked me to get him a set.
Which is our plan going forward. So no emailing and saying, "Can you sort me out the Ecto Glow Ghosts or whatever?" Because all our slots are accounted for, unfortunately.
So for myself and Darren, we both already own Ecto Glows.
Yes. And you've got an original right here.
Yeah, I've got. So this was the last one I needed to complete my run of Ecto Glows, which was Winston. Always seems a tricky one to get hold of, especially in the condition you want.
Yeah, very nice condition as well.
Yeah, for everybody's benefit, I'm really pleased you've been all offered the chance to own these.
Yes, I agree, because you do get some people, they start worrying about the value of their originals. I don't care about the value of my originals really, because I wanted them, I've got them, I don't ever plan to sell them. So and the other thing is, there's always going to be people that will want the originals.
Yeah.
So I don't think it will ever impact the price too much.
No,
I mean, time will tell on that. But
with regards to differences between these and the originals, there are a couple of minor differences on the cards.
Yeah, the no Hasbro logo on the originals for a start.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the back's different, and then of course the figures themselves. I'm assuming these have the more updated proton packs, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. If you wanted these, I mean, I'd say if you want them and haven't got them, I'd still say go and get it ASAP, just because you don't know how long they are going to be on the website. I wouldn't want to say, no, you don't need to stress, they're going to be on there loads, and suddenly they're probably sold out right this second as we're recording.
So if if you really wanted a set to open and a set to remain in the box, which is basically what me and Darren will end up doing, then maybe go out there, support Hasbro, snap another set up while you can. Okay, because you may regret it a little bit further down the line. The only other real big difference I can tell you about these two, and this is directed at you, Anthony Singleton, is that this glows so much better than these ones, because I know that's bothered you. So my original vintage Winston glows twice as bright as these. So yeah, you'll know what I'm talking about. Great that you got them. It's going to be interesting to see. I think two things that interest me is resellers. It's going to be interesting to see what the value of these re-releases are over time, because I bet there's a lot of disappointed resellers now trying to get a couple £100 for these and realising they can't. Yeah, definitely.
At one point in time, maybe, but I think we're years away from that. It's also going to be interesting now to see what happens with the next release, which is going to be, I believe the next one is the Stay Puft and Slimer.
Correct.
And are they going to be available for a month like these, or are they going to sell out within 2 hours like the Ecto one?
I mean, the rumour is that they're going to be announced at New York Comic Con, which is it end of September, October time?
I think it's September, but I could be wrong.
And how quickly they hit the the Hasbro pulse, I don't know.
Yeah, but all I can say is it's one of those things, you just got to jump on it as soon as you can, because it could be this situation where they're on sale for a month. Equally, it could be like the Ecto and they go within 2 hours. We just don't know. And
only at the end of the day, don't bow to peer pressure. Buy it because you want it and because you like it.
And that is the most important.
All right, don't just buy it because it's Ecto Glows and you think, oh my God, I need to own them. If you like it, you really wanted to own it, then buy it. That's the only reason you should be buying this.
Yeah, because some people may well look at the Ecto Glows and think, well, they look crap.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. As I say, we all thought exactly the same. It would be a pretty boring world.
Absolutely. I mean, I obviously collect Ghostbusters as yourself, so I wanted them. But as figures, they're not my favourite figures. If I was to rank the Kenner figures, they wouldn't be the bottom. I think the bottom would be those ones in the weird spacesuits. But they'd probably be like fairly low down the list for me.
Surprisingly enough, these would be quite high up for me. I actually really like them. I like the fact that they are slightly different. I like the glow feature. I like the white cards.
That's so you can see them easier.
That's how I can see them easier, and at my age you need that. So but no, I'm very fond of the Ecto Glow figures, and always have been, as I say, and I mean, it's going to give everybody the chance to own them, but just remember, you won't be Ecto Glow Elite just because you own these. Okay? No. You need to own the originals.
No, and talking of Ecto Glow Elite, is there anything you want to tell us about your t-shirt, Chris?
Thank you, yes, have some. I love my Ecto Glow Elite t-shirt, So I don't think these are available anymore. These were only available for a very short period of time. Hopefully you jumped on and snagged yourself one. They've done these, they've done caps and patches. So
if not, try and mug Chris Carter when he's wearing it out at a convention, and good luck to you, because he's a jiu-jitsu third dan, yeah. So
you're more likely to take me now. I'm getting too hot, don't worry.
Really? Yeah. So I can nick all your stuff and go.
Good chance. Excellent. Good chance.
Right. Well, one other thing, figure-wise, we need to bring up is Mondo. Yeah. And unfortunately, this isn't a positive thing. So Peter Venkman, which we pre-ordered, how long ago was that? A year-ish? I can't remember. We, as far as I know, everyone in the UK got shipping notification on the 31st of July. I know we did. I know some other people that did. Can only assume it was the same for everyone else. A month later, in fact, we're just over a month later now as we're recording, they have not moved. The tracking has not moved. Still sitting there in China, and both of us, and we know other people that have been emailing Mondo, and we're just getting this generic. They'll be moving in a couple of days. And
what I'd just like to say from both mine and Darren's point of view, if you've followed us since we've started this podcast, you know that we're very much glass half full. We're not half empty with anything. We want to be positive about everything and about companies that are trying their hardest. The Mondo figures are amazing. There is no disputing that. The guys that are sculpting these are incredible. Yeah. But please, Mondo, address the shipping situation.
Sort out the customer service.
Yeah, because the last email I had back from Mondo, and Darren had the same. I've got to be honest, I was a little bit upset with it because it said, really sorry, nothing we can do about it at this moment in time, but you're more than welcome to have a refund if you want it. I don't want a refund, Mondo. I want your amazing figures. I just want you to, even if there's not much you can tell us, at least give us a courtesy email.
Yeah, we should never have had to have emailed Mondo. After 2 weeks, if nothing's moved, there should have been a blanket email just saying, look, sorry, there's been a delay.
Really sorry, guys. We're looking into it. We are, we're going to be 4 figures in shortly. With
Ray's due to go up in a couple of weeks, as far as we know. And I'm not being funny, but one of the people from Mondo went on a podcast. I can't remember. It probably was Yes to Have Some, but I could be wrong. And this was before the 3rd figure came out, and they said they wouldn't expect anyone to order the 3rd figure until they've shipped the 1st one. And now they're going to do the same with the 4th one.
Yeah.
And, these are not cheap figures, they're expensive figures. I would expect more. And I'm not being funny, if I was Mondo and I've paid DHL to pick up a pallet and they haven't in a month, I would be going livid at them.
Yeah, I mean, basically, by the time we're in with Ray Stance, we're going to be $800 plus in, aren't we?
Which is 9 once you had shipping.
Yeah, once we've had shipping, and that's a lot of money with nothing to show for it. And the trouble is that, we're trying not to make this a rant, but this is very much becoming the norm with a lot of things. We are paying constantly and having to rely on people's basically hoping that they're not going to stiff us at the end of it, because even if you've paid goods and services, you have a set amount of time. Realistically, if I know Mondo are a very reliable company, but basically if Mondo was to go under tomorrow, we'd have no comeback.
We'd be screwed.
So please Mondo, if you're watching this or you know anybody who's connected with Mondo that are watching this, please, try and sort this out for us. But, we'd like just one figure, to restore some faith.
Yeah, we're absolutely desperate for that figure because they do look amazing.
Yeah, incredible. Everything you've done with them, and I have had things from Mondo in the past and they have never ever disappointed. Yeah. But, you really need to help us out here with this shipping because...
absolutely.
So enough said about that, I think.
Yeah, shall we move on to some better stuff? So pickups. Obviously, we've had the Ecto Glows, which we're really happy to have.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple of new things. So a couple of things from America. The Buffalo Ghostbusters, who organised Ghostbusters Day in New York, and you very kindly managed to pick some stuff up for me. I forgot to ask for a couple of things, one being the Letter 8 patch.
Yeah.
And it's a really nice patch. It is the Ecto one, but it just has Letter 8 written across it. I don't know if these are available anymore. Now, Buffalo Ghostbusters have just done what they call in legacy coins.
Yeah.
So they've done coins for the 40th anniversary this year, and they've gone back and done coins for the first 3 years. They look really cool. So... although I think it's too late to order them now, isn't it?
I think that ended, as we're recording, this is Monday, I think that ended at August the 31st.
Now, I don't know if their plan is to just make enough coins to cover their order or if they're going to order more. But if you don't follow Buffalo Ghostbusters, make sure you do and keep up with that because I'm sure that they might have more patches. They have their own patches. And the other thing I got was this Ghostbusters Day booklet, which is pretty cool. Which I actually thought was just a flyer when I ordered it. It's signed by the Alessi brothers. And I thought it was just this. Yeah. But when you actually go through it, it's actually got pictures from the history of Ghostbusters Day, which is really nice. Buffalo Ghostbusters on the back. What I really like about it is, look at that good looking chap they put there in the middle.
Oh, I'm in that again, am I? Oh no, it's you.
No, sorry.
Okay.
I can put a mirror there if you want.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. One's an ugly little spud and the other one's Slimer.
If you squint, you can see Chris there beating someone up.
Yeah.
So I was quite pleased to see that. Quite cool. And the only other thing I got was the latest edition of Guinness World Records.
Guinness World Records.
2006 edition, and if we turn to page...
2006, you don't sure it weren't 2026?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I can correct that in editing.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I won't, I'm too lazy, but I could. If we turn to page 83, I think it's 83.
Why couldn't it have been on page 84?
I know, I'm like one away.
One away.
If we look at that, it has me in there.
The world's biggest Smurf collector.
Yeah, the world's biggest Smurf collector. I've got a lot of Smurfs. That was cool to have that. I've known that was going to be in there since December.
Yeah.
They messaged me asking for pictures, and I sent them pictures. I never really said anything to anyone because these things can change. Yeah. They plan these so far in advance that you just never really...
It's very, very cool.
No. Yeah.
And an amazing legacy for all of Darren's children to look at in years to come.
I'm not having kids. You don't want more Darrens, right?
No, I suppose we don't want more Darrens,
But it was really cool. And just very quickly, in case you don't know, I got the record last year, just in time for the 40th anniversary, really, wasn't it? And I do feel I should give a shout out to Robert O'Connor, who had the first Guinness World Record for the world's largest Ghostbusters collection. Yeah. I think he got it 4 years prior to me. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have gone for it because he was the first. And I can't say anything at the moment, but I'm actually been helping someone get the first collection record for something else that's ongoing at the moment, and it's to do it first, there's a lot more effort involved where you have to get it approved, and then they set you out a number. So if you had 10 Ghostbusters bits, they're not going to let you do that as a record if you're the first to do it. You have to have a set number.
I think I know this, but this isn't Kieran and his collection of belly button lint, is it?
It is, yeah. It is.
Kieran,
spoil it.
Yeah, Kieran, congratulations on that one, mate.
Really happy to be in that. That was cool, and just a lot of work involved, and Kieran and James both helped with that as well. So not much more to say about that really. Buy the book.
Yeah, signed copies will be available.
Yes. How much do you reckon I get from autograph?
£1 at least.
£1?
Yeah.
It's more than James gets.
Yeah.
No. Right, so you're not going to get loads of comments now saying, what's that story?
Yeah.
If enough people ask, we'll tell you. The only other thing is this thing in front of me. This is a sewer cover I nicked outside the front of your house, Chris.
Yeah.
You don't need it, do you?
Hopefully not. No.
This is actually one of the prop sewer covers from Frozen Empire. So, quite light, actually.
Very nice piece.
I mean, what is a real sewer cover's got to weigh at least 50 kilos.
You wouldn't be waving it around like that.
No, certainly not.
On my dinner table, trust me.
Your dinner table probably would have collapsed.
Yeah.
I don't really know what more I can say about it.
No, it's some great detail. It really looks lovely.
It looks filthy, but that's not dirt. I don't know how well that picks up on the camera for the people who are watching this on YouTube, but it looks absolutely filthy. But it's
and for the people listening on Spotify or our other platforms, it looks like a New York sewer cover.
Yeah.
This would be at home on the set of Ghostbusters or on a Turtle set.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Turtle set, and he just sat there, and who walked over this? Maybe Bill Murray has walked over this, or Dan Aykroyd. We'll never know for sure. Maybe you did.
Maybe I did.
Yes, maybe you did. Maybe I did.
Yeah, maybe you did.
We'll never know.
Yeah.
Now, there's a couple of bits of paint that have chipped here. Just a couple of little areas, and it brings up something I think is worth discussing. Do you restore things like that, or do you leave them as they are? Because if I add paint to that, that is now not that bit of paint is not original from the set. So what's your opinion on that?
For what my opinion's worth, in its current condition, I don't think the small paint chips detract from it.
No, I don't either.
There are some bigger items that I've bid on, or I've gone to bid on in the past. One of them was the stone gargoyles from the original Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago, and if I'd bought that and gone through with the purchase, I would have had to have had that restored, because in its current condition it wasn't acceptable.
Yeah.
So I think sympathetic restoration by the right people does not detract from the value.
Yeah.
But there's a line, and I think where this is currently, I would not.
Yeah. No, fair enough. That is cool. Right. Well, we are going to now be moving on to your questions. Okay, so first of all, just want to say thank you to everyone who did put questions down when we asked for your questions. So we've got quite a lot here. So we'll start with some strange girl, Hannah Carter. Do you know her?
Hannah Carter, yeah. Sadly, I do know. Yes, it's my daughter, in case anybody's. Yeah.
Your favourite moments from each of the movies.
So it's a really, really difficult one.
Yeah.
To answer. Do you want to go first, Darren, or do you need time?
I was hoping you'd go first.
Okay.
I'll just copy your answers.
So for me, okay. So GB1. Okay, if we're going to do them in some order.
Yeah.
One of my favourite scenes, if not my favourite scene, is Lewis Tully in the apartment and Hoover the dog.
Yeah. Good scene.
I love that. I love how cheesy it is, how funny it is, and how natural Lewis is within it. And obviously, the first time we really get to see the Terror Dog properly. So the Terror Dog, I've got a lot of love for the Terror Dogs, always have.
Yeah,
so,
fair enough. Well, I think going in order, Ghostbusters 1, I think I'm going to go with when the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man appears.
That initial appearance.
Just because, like, when I watched that as a kid, just as soon as you see Stay Puft's head just sort of bobbing up and down, it was such an exciting moment as a kid.
Yeah.
And so it's probably better scenes in reality, but I just a lot of memories attached to that and excitement. So I think that would be my one for Ghostbusters 1.
Yeah. Okay. GB2.
I'm just going to say anything with Vigo in.
Okay.
Because I dress as Vigo the Cosplaythian. Check him out. Is that a crap answer, really?
Yeah,
it's
a bit.
All right, you go. Have you got an answer yet? Or
so again, I think, and they're not following this for any particular reason, but I love the scene with Lewis and Slimer at the bus stop.
It's a good scene,
and I actually own the original concept art for that, and that's for me, that's really funny, you know. And so the doors swing open and there's Slimer sitting there, you know.
That is a good scene as well. And Rick Moranis, I mean, legend.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing him back in Spaceballs as well. So it's going to be awesome. It's such a hard one. Like, I think like River of Slime is obviously a classic scene. Courtroom is another scene. Yeah. But I'm going to go with something completely different. I'm going to go with the Coke Ghost.
All right,
Because it's always amused me when the ghost comes alive. She takes it off and it runs down the street. I just find it funny the way it bobs along. Yeah. And I kind of feel like it's like that Coke getting revenge on her. Yeah. So I don't know. Just found it funny. That's the one I'm going to go with.
Yeah. Okay.
Afterlife.
So it looks like we're going to skip answer the call. Okay.
Do you want to do answer the call?
I do in a way, because I know it's controversial, but there are a lot of people out there who really enjoyed Answer the Call, and I'm not going to poo-poo it because that's, you know... Yeah. And if that brings you into the Ghostbusters world and makes you attend conventions, etc., then I'm happy for you.
Yeah, and I've always been the same. I don't really talk about Answer the Call because I didn't like Answer the Call, but at the same time, I'm not the sort of person who's going to sit there and shit on it, you know. Like you said, if you enjoyed it, then good for you, because ultimately me not like it doesn't change your opinion on it.
No.
And if you enjoy it and it brought you into the fandom, and it's brought a lot of people into the fandom, which I think is great. So I don't have although I didn't like the film, I don't have a problem with it either.
No.
And I think it's been said before, if we didn't have Answer the Call, we probably wouldn't have got Afterlife.
No, we didn't. But that's fact, pretty much.
So although I didn't like the film, I do like a lot of what it's brought to the franchise, which I think is the most important thing.
I mean,
I'm going to be honest, I can't remember the film enough to really tell you a scene.
So I can, and I think a scene which it stands out for itself. And if you was to watch it again, very reminiscent of the Library Ghost scene, is the first scene in the house where the floating apparition of the woman, and then she spews the ectoplasm over her. I think that's very cleverly done. I like the ghost. I like everything about that scene. I hoped at the time it would set the precedence for the rest of the film, but it didn't really. So
I think that's a problem. I guess it was set up for something that maybe a lot of us didn't expect.
No.
But one thing I did like, I guess it was in a scene. I really liked the graffiti logo.
Yeah.
I did actually really like that, and I've got a couple of bits of merch with that. I've got one. I've definitely got at least one bit of merch with that on. I really like that logo, and I think it's underrated. In fact, I should do that as patches.
Possibly,
I don't know. That's trouble with it. Would it sell? Because it's attached to that film that a lot of people don't like, but I do genuinely like that logo. And I believe Shrek has the original version of that logo.
I think he does,
So, that's Answer the Call.
Afterlife. The early scenes with podcasting it.
Yeah.
Absolute legend. And the scene with when Phoebe first uses the proton pack, prior to him meeting Muncher. The podcast is just, Logan's absolutely hilarious in that.
Yeah, and I'm sure I remember reading that was like his first film, wasn't it? And yet the way he is, he's like, you'd think he's been doing it for 30 years, which is impossible. What was he, like 12?
Yeah, more like 12, 13, something like that.
He's so good. Such a good actor.
So for me, that scene, I love it. And obviously anything with Muncher in it as well.
Yeah, it's such a tough one because I'm drawn to the bit with Egon appearing at the end. Yeah. But there's so many scenes like the mini puffs appearing. Yeah. Was a great scene. The
terror dog on Paul Rudd's car.
Yeah.
Like when he sits on it and the tyre goes. That's a little bit of tongue-in-cheek horror and yet some comedy value as well. So
but I think I'm going to have to go with the moment Egon appears, just because of the emotion attached to it, and didn't cry once.
No, of course you didn't.
I'm a man.
Yeah. He blubbed like a baby.
It's funny because I used to take the mick out of my mum when she'd sit there watching Dirty Dancing or whatever, and she'd have her box of tissues crying. Yeah. We'd all laugh at her, and then you.
Tugged on the heartstrings.
Yeah, a little bit.
Frozen Empire.
Yeah, Frozen Empire. Oh God, it's so tough, isn't it, to think of all the good scenes. I mean, just being back in New York, so anything of the car driving around New York, I'm just immediately drawn to. Stuff in the firehouse, I'm drawn to. But I think the scene I'm going to go with is Slimer in the attic.
Right.
Just because seeing Slimer come back out of that big pile of trash, and you're thinking, how long has Slimer been living there? And then the way he just slimes Trevor, I really liked that. I mean, there's so many good scenes, but...
So, for me, there's two killer scenes within Frozen Empire, which I absolutely adore. And it's actually not the scenes we were in. But it's... I love Lars with Pukey.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I thought you was one of the big scary ones. So that's quality.
And it's funny because when I heard he was going to be in the film, I was a bit like not sure about it, and he was so good. So good, yeah. So that was amazing, and James, we love you if you're watching. And the other one is when Kumail is coming down the fire pole. Squeaking his way down the fire pole. That's comedy genius. And again, I think a few people thought when Kumar was brought into it,
you know, how is he going to slot in? And I loved his character in it. I really did.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I guess it kind of links to the thing I just said, actually, with Ecto 1 driving around New York, but it's the bit where it drives past Razor Cult and he looks out looking at it, and I think that was a really lovely scene too. And Patton Oswalt, I enjoyed his scenes. I really enjoyed like the explanation of Garaka with the animation.
Yeah, like the stop motion. Yeah.
Well, that was quite cool as well. And Bill Murray throwing the pencils.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I haven't really gave a definitive answer myself, have I? Just New York. But
Hannah, he's just waffled.
But yeah, I think I'm going to go with the scene where it drives past Razor Cult and Ray looks out. Just like, you know, because he's obviously reminiscing. It sort of links back to all those old films, and it's almost like it's a crossover between the old and the new. Yeah, the passing of the torch, which I think is really nice.
Yeah. So I hope that answers your question, Hannah.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, tough.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got the green-haired Ghostbuster. What are your favourite deleted scenes from GB1 and GB2? And also, what are your hopes for the franchise? Keep up the great work, guys.
That's really kind of you. Thanks a lot. We really appreciate that. So,
deleted scenes. Trying to remember all the deleted scenes now. So, start with GB1. Just trying to think deleted scenes. The one that immediately sprung to mind is the one where Stay Puft's hat just drifts down. Yeah. Which is such a short scene, but I kind of think, because that's the one that sprung to mind immediately, that's kind of the one that's probably...
That is quite iconic, isn't it? You know.
So I get... Because I've seen the preview cut now, along with you, there's a lot of scenes in GB1 that we've seen that are just slightly extended. Yeah. Do you count them as deleted scenes, or just extended
obviously,
scenes?
They're no longer featured within it, then it's going to count as a deleted scene. It's
but I think I'm going to go. Then again, there's that Fork Darren scene. That's obviously a classic. Yeah. But I still think I'm going to go with
I've got to be honest. The Stay Puft hat is possibly one of the most iconic deleted.
Yeah, and you could add that back in as well without changing the flow of the film at all.
No, definitely.
Which any other deleted scene will do that.
Yeah.
So.
I think we're both in agreement for that, for GB1.
Yeah, I'm just thinking I want that hat now.
Yeah.
GB2. I mean, the most famous scene we've never seen, which is obviously Ray being possessed. I'm just trying to remember all the deleted scenes for GB2 now, because I know there's alternate ones. I know there's the one where when they try and convince Venkman to go down into the sewer, in the film they do it on the street, whereas there's a delete scene where they do it at the door. They knock on the door, and funny enough, I was watching that the other day, and I was watching it, and like the acting on it was a little bit weird. Yeah, like almost like. But I guess that's why it was the lead scene. The timing was off a little bit. Yeah. It just felt a bit wooden. I'm going to go with Jack Hardemeyer being sucked into the museum.
Yeah. Okay.
I think so, just because it's a bit dark for Ghostbusters, really. Like, no one ever... Well, I guess Frozen Empire changes, but no one really died in Ghostbusters.
No.
But then suddenly he's been... And I know the special effects were not finished with it, but... So we don't know exactly how, if tentacles come out and grabbed him or whatever, but I kind of assume he died by that happening. I don't know what the plan was, but yeah, I'm going to go with that.
Okay, well, I've got to be honest... Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything which sort of like springs to mind. And I'd go, wow, you know, that was, So
hopes of the franchise going forward.
I really, really hope, if I'm going to be honest with you, that we've got one more film in us.
Yeah. I definitely hope we get another
I'd like it to round up this trilogy as such.
Definitely. But I think the problem with... funny enough, I was talking to my girlfriend about this the other day, of a similar subject of when you're watching a TV show and it's just cancelled. Yeah. And you don't get any definitive ending. And I feel like if you're going to cancel the show, at least let them have one feature-length episode where they can...
tie up loose ends.
Yeah, tie up loose ends. And obviously we don't know where the Ghostbusters franchise is going to go. We don't know how many more films they've got planned or how many are feasible, what the cast plan to do. So, yeah, if they're not going to go beyond another one, tie up loose ends, in a way where they can bring them back if they want to do another one after that, or move on to another country, another franchise, or pick it up,
yeah.
Whatever.
I think obviously, we know we've got an animated series coming, but I think, especially Ghostbusters with the younger guys in it, it opens itself up to a sort of Netflix series of some description.
Yeah, I think
as
so.
regards very much along the vein of a Stranger Things.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it would do really, really well. Whether that ever happen, I doubt it. But I am a strong believer we'll get one more film.
Yeah. And there's so much they can do with the franchise as well. I mean, obviously, it said we've got the animated, and there's so many animated series they can do. I remember at one point in time, I'm not sure how good it would have been. There was talk of them doing an animated series set in the future.
Right.
I think they were talking about that around the time I answered the call.
Yeah.
And that was going to be set like in 100 years or something. And it's funny because I remember, I think I mentioned this in like an old video I did on YouTube. When you're looking at the dates on Goza's Temple, there was another date I think you could just make out that was like 21,000 and so on. So it's like, could they revive that idea and bring Goza back in like a future? But then again, do you want to keep falling back on Goza? You do need to move on.
Yeah, we do need
things.
do need to move on, definitely.
I mean, ultimately, what they should do is a Vigo spin-off and hire some good-looking actor who dresses as Vigo to play him.
I literally think I haven't got it in me anymore, Dale.
No, all right, it was worth a shot. Worth a shot. All right, let's see our next question once my phone loads. So we've got Sean Clayton. How long were your days on set? What did you do to pass the time? I've heard film sets are very long and boring, even just to film a 30-second segment.
So, Sean, I can answer that, and Darren's going to come back with saying as well in a minute. It was Ghostbusters, my friend. It definitely wasn't boring. I think with a lot of film sets I have not experienced. Darren's experienced far more than I have. Ghostbusters was very non-restrictive. So being on set for us, we was allowed to wander around. I was allowed to talk and engage with the cast, which I can talk for England, so I have no problem talking to people.
You can.
So in moments when I had a bit of downtime, one lunchtime we spent talking to James Acaster, another lunchtime I spent talking to Celeste. There was not a boring moment. We spoke to the other extras and, just talked about, the fact that we were super fans and what we was doing there and, them trying to get their heads around it. And obviously being given the opportunity to rummage through the costumes and different bits and pieces. So I could have spent 24 hours there.
So you wasn't bored then?
I was not bored, definitely not, mate. So, but Darren,
Yeah, so you are right. Film sets can be boring. They can be long for a 30-second scene. I've been on a lot of film sets, and sometimes it's what you make out of it. So I've been on film sets where no one talks to each other, and that is boring.
Yeah.
And sometimes things change on the day, so the director might suddenly decide they want to do the scene differently. So suddenly you're not being used, you're sitting in the green room all day, taking a nap, things like that. So it can be like that. Again, it depends on the film and the show. I can't say what it is, but I was doing a show very recently where I was playing a dead body, and I slept for most of it. Do you want to know how good of a dead body I played? There was real dead bodies and fake dead bodies. I fell asleep when everyone had gone for a break. One of the props guys tried picking me up and moving me. That's how good of a dead body I
That's
have.
a pretty good dead body.
But when I did, I think Star Wars is probably going to be my better example of this, because that was like quite a boring day of sitting around, not really doing much. But at the same time, it was Star Wars, and I'm just looking at the sets, like almost in awe, looking at the weapons and all that. And it's the same with Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Like, I probably spent half my day sitting behind the firehouse watching a screen that had, when they were filming interior shots of Razor Cult, and I'm watching Ray, Phoebe, and podcast. I can't hear the dialogue, so I have no idea what they're saying, but I'm just constantly watching it. And then this rail comes along, and there's boots in front of it, and I'm like looking at the boots. Now, any other film set, I would have been bored out of my mind.
Yeah.
But because it was Ghostbusters, you're walking past Razor Cult and just looking up like,
Yeah,
oh
you're
my
looking.
God, it's Fraser Cole. Oh my God.
Yeah, Sean, I mean, you're looking at every detail because you're a Ghostbusters fan. You're looking at, dimples on the firehouse, this, that, clothing, anything they've dressed the walls with. You're just trying to absorb it and take it all in.
Yeah.
It was just, possibly next to having my kids and getting married, it was possibly the greatest time in my life. So if you get a chance, Sean, to do anything like that and it's something you love.
And if this wasn't recording, he would have said it was better than those two things.
I would have.
But now if I was not a Ghostbusters fan, it would have been like any other day. I probably would have been bored.
Yeah.
But in some things as well, like I don't know how much time you spent sitting around, but sometimes on film sets, it's just constant, work, and you don't get time to be bored. And sometimes you are sitting around being bored. So it is
tiring, and I think Darren will agree with you. It's not as easy as everybody thinks it is.
No.
And it can get tiring, but if it's something you're enjoying, it's tiring in a nice way. Yeah,
it's fun, and I mean, it's certainly a career. I say career, I don't know if anyone can really make a career out of being an extra. I think you have to do it alongside other stuff, but I think you get more out of it if you're a sort of person who likes talking to people. If you're the sort of shy person who doesn't like talking to people, you'll probably be quite bored on set, whereas if you're quite outgoing and chatty, that make you think.
I mean, I've stayed in contact with a lot of the other extras, so it was good for us.
Yeah. Gemma Wilkes, I lost her pic. What is your favourite memory of being part of the Ghostbusters world? Now, I don't know if she means Ghostbusters world as in the film or just Ghostbusters in general. I assume she means just Ghostbusters in general. Favourite thing, I mean, I don't even know if I can answer that, really.
I can. I can pretty well sum it up in a nutshell. I think I've made some amazing friends through the Ghostbusters world. I can't include him, but no, I've been very lucky. I've made a lot of friends who share my passion for something I really love. I've managed to help a few people along the way, and I've had some amazing opportunities. So I count myself as very, very lucky, Gemma, and I keep giving forward as much as I can.
Yeah, no, that's a good answer, and I don't think I can top that. I mean, I think you are right. It is the friends you get and just the opportunities that have come our way. I mean, if it wasn't for Ghostbusters, we wouldn't know each other. I wouldn't know Kieran, James, any of the others.
Carl, Rich, John, everybody, Simon, all those lads, who I've laughed so hard with, with New York and things like that. We've absolutely, laughed till we've cried, so. And their memories that, even if I couldn't do it anymore, again, that will always stay with me. So, that's what I take from that, Gemma.
Yeah, okay, right, let's... Dino, what interesting stories do you know about any of the cameos in Ray Parker Jr.'s music video?
Oh, wow.
Do you know what? It's been so long since I watched the video, I can't remember any of the cameos. Is that bad of me?
Yeah, it is a little bit bad of you. So, obviously, you've got the likes of Chevy Chase.
Yeah. Danny DeVito, was he in it?
Is Danny DeVito in it? I don't think so.
Oh, maybe I've just imagined that.
Yeah, I think... I know I went to an evening with Chevy, because obviously he was earmarked to be in Ghostbusters. But he talked quite candidly about it, and he said like he thought him and Bill would have killed each other, because I think they're very very strong characters and like-minded people to a certain extent, and obviously they'd worked together in the early days of Saturday Night Live and that, and I don't think it would have been good. I don't doubt for 1 minute Chevy wouldn't have been good in it, but
it would have been a different film.
It would have been a completely different. I mean, and again, like with John Candy, where John Candy was. I love John Candy to bits, but I can't imagine John
No, not as Lewis.
Not as Lewis.
And he was going to play him as a German
as
character.
a German guy
well.
with a couple of big German pinchers,
Yeah.
and it's as I say, it's a great question, Dane. But yeah, as I say, I don't know. I don't know. As I say, all I can go by is like the bit with Chevy and that, and obviously hearing it from the horse's mouth. So
yeah, we probably should have watched it before, but never mind. On to the next one.
yeah,
Okay, we've got a weird question from Danny Denton. Did you expect anything else?
yeah.
2 incredibly high-speed trains that are labelled GB1 and GB2 are charging at a speed of 250 miles per hour on the same track, starting from opposite directions. They leave at the same exact time and continue at the same exact speed. They never slow down. The 2 trains never touch. How is that possible?
I don't
Ghost
know.
trains?
Spectral locomotion. I don't really know, Danny. I've got to be honest, I've never seen anything on network rail move at 250 miles an hour. You're lucky if it moves at 25 miles an hour. So
turn up on time.
yeah. So we have no answer for that, Danny.
Yeah.
You're way too intelligent for me and Darren.
Yeah, I'm just going to go for ghost trains.
Ghost trains. There we go.
Alright, Tom Wilson asks, what kind of elite education did Dana Barrett have to work as both a professional cellist, and a restorer of fine art?
Well, she obviously went to the School of Restoring Fine Art, but I think there is something on one of the websites with regards to Dana's education, because I think it's sort of up in the air as regards her musical background, like, you know, whether she was a cellist with the New York Philharmonic or not. So she would have had an amazing background. She maybe come from parents that who were wealthy. I mean, looking at where she was living,
she obviously wasn't skint.
No, and the circle she was moving in, you know.
Yeah.
I think things went downhill rapidly when she met Peter.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess you don't necessarily need an education to be a musician. I mean,
no, if you're extremely talented.
Art, I wouldn't have a clue about art restoring.
Restoration of art, then yes, she's going to have a background in the fine arts, and and obviously she'd have studied a certain period within.
Because I suppose different paints and all that would require different sources of restoring.
Yeah,
I say that as someone who's never restored art. So
no,
that's kind of what I'm assuming.
And then when I've restored the odd wall in my lounge, the emulsion is
Is that because the painter did it previous was just that bad?
Yeah, it was that bad. Yeah. But I'm sorry we can't give you a more educated answer to that, my friend.
No, unfortunately we're not as educated as Dana.
No, we're not. So.
Okay, Paul Bramwell has asked about the the Frozen Empire costumes, the black engineer ones, and how they often get mistaken for GB2.
Yeah, I mean, I think with regards to the GB2 uniforms, obviously, not only did we have the grey uniforms, the charcoal grey, we had obviously the khaki as well.
Yeah.
And that the uniform within GB2, the khaki one, isn't the same as the GB one.
It's a different one.
It's got a different weave on it. It's got a heavier herringbone weave with regards to the material. The khaki sometimes again looks different colours as well.
Yes, it does, and even two-tone, and like in some shots, like some parts are slightly darker khaki than others. And I know some of the original props, as they've aged, some parts have got even darker.
Yeah, the grey sometimes, and I think we've spoke about this, I've noticed this myself, the grey sometimes photographs under certain lights as blue.
Yeah, it looks blue, because I think a lot of people thought it was blue.
Yeah, which it isn't. People mistaking the black engineering one for GB2, I think it's maybe they don't have a...
Yeah, I just think... Just that I'm not that aware of Frozen Empire at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, GB2's been out for 35, longer than that. Years. So, you know, it's a well-known suit, whereas a lot of people have not seen Frozen Empire, or it isn't quite in the consciousness of the general public. And that's kind of always been my fault with the red jacket as well. Like, I know a lot of people like wearing their red jackets, but to me at the moment, like, I think most people wouldn't associate the red jacket with Ghostbusters.
No.
Not not hardcore fan would, but not the general people that would come to a convention and see Ghostbusters, that sort of thing. And I think, I just don't think it's quite there yet. It will at some point. I mean, we did a convention 4 or 5 months ago, and we had a brilliant Garaka made by Kieran Walker. But we had a lot of people saying, I know like Slimer and so, but don't know who that is.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's bad or anything. It's just that not enough people it's not been out long enough for people to remember it as much, I think.
No, I think we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. We was down in Putney with Claire Bueno doing a book signing, and we was talking about obviously a new documentary, Too Hot to Handle, and James mentioned how GB2 seems to come to the forefront of most people's minds, because the people we're tending to talk to now would have been people that were born and around coming up around the time of GB2.
Yeah, and I guess myself is in that bracket. You know, I was born in '83, so wasn't old enough to see Ghostbusters 1 at the cinema. I was the perfect age for the real Ghostbusters. I was 3, 4 as that was being shown. Perfect time for the figures. GB2, I would have been 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So
to have a love, like a hardcore love for GB1, you would have to be in your mid-50s now. GB2, you're going to be younger. Yeah. You're going to be in your 40s to mid-40s. And this will come down the line with regards to Afterlife and Frozen Empire.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think the whole perception with regards to costume and what people remember will change, Paul.
Yeah.
I think that's...
And a completely different franchise, but we've seen this with Star Wars.
Yeah.
The Star Wars prequels seem to be quite universally loved now.
Yeah.
When they come out, they were hated.
Yeah.
And people now go, "Oh, bring George Lucas back. The prequels are better," and all that. And it's a similar thing, I guess, to a point. I mean, it's different, but it's just the people that have grown up with those prequels that loved them when they were kids are now older.
Yeah.
And it's the same sort of thing. I mean, we've done a lot of events for cinemas for Frozen Empire. So many kids are coming out of that film loving it.
Yeah.
So many.
And I think going forward, these guys, these youngsters that have watched Frozen Empire and have grown up with it and will remember it as their Christmas or summer blockbuster.
Yeah, and to them, Phoebe podcast will be more memorable than Venkman and
100%. They'll identify with them, and going forward, they'll identify with the costumes, etc. From those. So you'll find, as we move on, more and more people will be rocking up in the red coat with the engineer's flight suit on.
Definitely.
So hope that's answered. Excuse me, your question, Paul.
Yeah, okay, we've got one from Gareth Moburn. Absolutely loving your videos so far. Thank you. And I am not a podcast person, nor watch anyone else's. That's very kind.
That is really kind. Means a lot, mate. And
have to admit, I'm not watching religiously, but will pop you guys on when I have a bit of spare time. I may be a bit late to the party to give my question. Never too late, mate. Even if it's too late for this one, we would have answered it at another point. Anyway, I've lost where I was. Would love to know what people and you guys really think about non-Cadillac Ecto 1 creations. I have a modern Ecto 1 creation of my own, and some people hate them, some people love them. So,
I've seen your modern creation, and I think it's really cool, mate. Not everyone, and very, very few, a very, very small percentage of us, in their lifetime will ever be fortunate enough to own a 59 Caddy.
Yeah. And creating a modern Ecto 1, which is what people tend to call them, I think it's a great way to show your love for the franchise. I've often thought about doing it to my my car. I've never got around to it. I don't hate them at all. I think you need a bit of a thick skin if you do it, because you're always going to get the it's Ecto 1 from Wish kind of comments, which you could argue that people shouldn't be dicks, but unfortunately people are. So I think you need a little bit of a thick skin in that regard. But I have no problem with them. I think it's your car. You show your love for
And let me tell you something, all right? Most people will just look at your car as, it's the Ghostbuster. And that is what they'll say, mate.
Yeah.
They won't go, the man on the street or the average Joe isn't going to go, oh, that's not a 59mm. You know, they'll go, it's a Ghostbuster car and there's a Ghostbuster driving it. And if that puts a smile on a kid's face, or an adult's face, or anybody's face, and it makes you smile driving it, mate, you carry on doing what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my only thought would be when it comes to conventions is if you are hired to do one, it needs to be advertised as what it is.
Yeah, because some people know.
I have seen people who will take a Fiesta done up as an Ecto 1 and it'll be advertised as like the proper Ghostbusters car. And that is wrong. It should be advertised as what it is, whether it's an Audi, Fiesta or whatever. You know, I think that's really my only slightly negative thing about them.
Definitely make people aware of what they're getting or what they're coming to see. You know, because again, a lot of people will travel a long way.
And if they travel thinking that they're going to see a real Cadillac, you know, that's wrong. But that'd be my only negative.
But
other than that,
do what makes you happy, mate.
I think we said the same when we did the episode on the uniform. You know, it's your uniform. Do what you want. Yeah.
Seriously, we would encourage you. We wouldn't look down on it, mate.
Okay, so Ghostbusters 07-Y2X has asked, I have a weird question. I got these Plasma Series figures from eBay and they were modded, like Winston's moustache and Walkie Talkie are blue and Egon's pack broke. Does that devalue them?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it?
I personally think it's down to how they're modded.
Yeah.
To a point, like, there's always going to be collectors who, no matter what sort of modding's done, that's it, they're not interested. They want them as they come in the factory. But there's people that do amazing mods of figures, like they'll paint them up where they'll make, I've seen some brilliant mods of the Ecto 1, the Kenner Ecto 1, where they've painted it up with like proper cell shade and all that, and it looks absolutely fantastic. And there will be a market for people to buy that. You know, for the effort that's gone into it. It doesn't sound like a lot of modding's gone into your one, so to me it doesn't really sound like it's added value.
No.
I think you said there's a broken pack, so that's probably devalued them a little bit.
It depends what you bought them as. If you bought them as a modded figure and you knew that you was buying something which had been modded and that was what you was looking for from the figure, then that's brilliant. If you was buying them as a plasma figure and you hoped that it was going to be in great condition and it's come and it's modded and it's got some damage, then yes, it is going to devalue it, isn't it? You know?
I think the key really is if you ever sell those figures, you need to tell the buyer what they're getting.
Transparency.
Basically. And like I say, some people it might add value, to some it won't. You know, if someone wants the walkie-talkie to be blue, again, like to me that doesn't make sense on a plasma figure because unless you've done the whole figure to look like a real Ghostbusters figure, why is it blue? So to me that wouldn't add it. So I think it's down to the situation, but with your one specifically, it's hard to say about seeing them all.
Exactly.
But it doesn't sound like it's done much. But I think we've got one more question, and I just want to say if I have missed any questions, I do apologise. Please post them below this video and we'll get to them in another video. But Matthew Lavagner has asked, I've always wondered who exactly owns the rights to Ghostbusters. If memory serves, I seem to remember reading somewhere that when they made the first film, the rights were split between the studio, Ivan Reitman, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis and Bill Murray. Is this true? Secondly, what has happened to the rights of Ivan and Harold now that they have passed on? Also, in Hollywood, there's something called termination rights, which allows creators of work, such as screenplays and characters, to reclaim ownership of the rights after 35 years, which for Ghostbusters would have been in 2019, which is perhaps no coincidence. Sorry, I accidentally zoomed in there. Which is perhaps no coincidence when Ghostbusters Afterlife was made. I'd love to hear your answers, whether informed or speculative. Now, I know how I think it is, but I don't know if I'm right.
Okay.
I believe he was right that they owned the rights, Reitman, Murray and all that originally, because from what I always understood, the reason a third film never got made is because Murray wasn't interested and he owned some of the rights, couldn't do it. But the way I understood it was when Ghost Corps was formed, they basically gave their rights up to Sony, like made a deal with Sony, which is when Ghost Corps was formed, and they now own the rights.
Okay.
That is how I understood it, but I've never looked into it in depth, so I could be completely mistaken.
So, speculatively, from my point of view, I'd be really, really interested to... I mean, it's a great question, Matthew, it really is. I think we maybe need to do a little bit of a deep dive on this. I think Sony still hold the rights. Because I think, like Darren saying about Ghost Corps, because Ghost Corps runs separately to Sony.
Yeah.
And Ghost Corps have to answer to Sony. I know during the filming of Frozen Empire, timings, length of film, etc. Were dictated by Sony.
Yeah.
So, because I think potentially the film could have, as we all know, could have been a little bit longer. But they were reined in, I think, on that a little bit.
Yeah, and ultimately Sony is the one giving the money, isn't it?
Yeah, so. It is, and you know, at the end of the day, it does come down to numbers and number crunchers. You know, if a film, you know, you've spent 100 million on a film and you need a return of 200 million or 300 million on that film.
Yeah,
you know, the number crunchers are the ones that are going to dictate it.
Yeah.
So, from my point of view, I am speculating, so I really can't give you a definitive answer on that. I'm more than happy for me and Darren to go away with that question.
Yeah, we can do some research.
Do a little bit of research and see if we can come back to you with something. It's a really well thought through and clever question, and I feel we'd be mugging you off to try and pretend we knew any different.
Yeah,
you know?
So yeah, exactly what I've said is just how I've understood it without ever really researching it. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that's the answer when I can't say for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is all our questions. I have a question for the viewers.
Okay.
Right, so I just thought of this because you were talking about number crunching, right? So when Frozen Empire came out, there was a lot of people posting how much it had made at the box office over its life, and it needs to make X amount of money and so on. And when we talk about how much a film makes and what the biggest film of all time is, which I believe is still Avatar, the biggest money-making film.
I don't know.
We only ever talk about box office.
Yeah.
That's the only number we ever seem to take into consideration. But films make money from loads of places. Now, I mean, if we go back to our era, you'd buy a cinema ticket. You would then rent it on VHS.
Yeah.
Then you'd buy a VHS, and if it's a film you particularly liked, you would have then bought it on the DVD.
Yeah.
Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Probably own it on streaming.
Yeah.
And that's not including deals where they sell the films to Netflix or ITV or BBC, all these places around the world.
Paying for.
Yeah, and so these films have raking in money from all these different avenues, and that's not even including merch and all that. We're talking about literally selling the film. So with that in mind, what is the actual biggest money-making film of all time?
Okay.
Because I don't believe it's Avatar. Box office, yes, but surely if we're going to take all the actual avenues that films make money from, it's got to be something like Star Wars, surely.
Without that, yeah.
Like that is where my bet would be. But and that links back to Ghostbusters, because I always said, like, don't panic about what the box office is, because it will sell on DVD, Blu-rays, streaming, and all that. It will still make money, even if it. I mean, I think it made its money back at the box office.
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah,
it did, and beyond.
Yeah.
But even if it didn't, it will still make money in other areas. And we've seen examples before where a TV show sort of failed. Family Guy was one.
Right.
That failed, was cancelled, but it sold so well on DVD they had to revive it. So, so that's a little thing for the viewers. What do you think is the real highest grossing film of all time?
Yeah, do your homework, give us a little comment, and I mean, it doesn't even have to be run off and Google it, just
don't Google it. Maybe give us your opinion.
Yeah, just give us an opinion, because that'd be quite an interesting one. And again, obviously, that is something that will change, because it's got to be a multi-generational film when you think of it.
Yeah, I think it has, because like the older films like Ghostbusters have been sold on so many formats through the years. Like, that must have made more than they'd ever even admit.
Yeah.
Like must have done. And obviously, and the other thing with people worry about box office, but just the way people view films now.
Yeah, it's different, completely different.
Like, I just think the era of the big Hollywood blockbuster.
Yeah.
They just don't get them as much nowadays as you used to.
No.
The last really big one that I seem to remember was like the last Avengers, and that's got to be going back about 5 years now or something. Crazy. But anyway, that's the question. So we have one more thing we're going to do in this episode. I'm basically going to look up Ghostbusters on eBay, which I do on a fairly regular basis, but I'm going to filter it. We're going to look at the highest value items, according to the person selling them, and get your opinion on it. So,
okay. Be prepared for some expletives.
yes. So I actually did a video on this maybe a year ago, just out of curiosity, and was giving my opinion on it. So I think I'll give my opinion as well today.
Yeah.
But I'm more curious to hear your opinion. So once this loads, any particular items you're thinking of expecting? We're probably only going to look about the top 10 items. We're not going to spend hours going through this. But anything in particular you expect to see?
Within the highest
Yes.
items. So, possibly a James Ritchie's signed autograph with Annie Potts in the background.
I reckon so, yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be number one.
Yeah.
That's got to be 20 grand.
Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely going to be in there among it. Yeah. I'm not sure what else. Yeah, we'll have to see.
Okay, right, well, number one, now this has actually been on eBay for quite a long time. There's a personalised number plate, which is EC70ONE, so Ecto 1. 15,000. I'm just going to say £15,000 because it gets a bit complicated now because they had the seller fee on, so it's actually showing £15,086.68, but I think that is supposed to be 15,000.
So with regards to this number plate, okay, so it's EC70ONE.
So perfect if you want the Ecto 1 number plate. Now, I'm not an expert on number plates, but the way I understand these number plates is certain personalised number plates can only appear on certain modern cars. So I don't think this one, if you owned an original Cadillac, I don't think you could put this on it.
So I own a few personalised number plates. So I own an EC70 number plate. I'd rather not give the rest of my number plate out there.
Fair enough.
But it is GB related. And
it's not this one, you're not trying to sell it 15 grand, are you?
No. So with a 70 number plate, it can only be put on a vehicle which is older than, which is newer than the number plate. Right. So that EC70 can only go on a 71, 72, 73, 74 plate.
Right.
You cannot make an old car look newer, you can make a new car look older.
Alright, got you.
Okay. Now, my EC70, which is also GB related, and the next three numbers are GB related, I paid 340 quid for.
So you don't think they're worth 15 grand?
That is not worth 15 grand of anybody's money. They are pissing in the wind.
Yeah, see, I'm not an expert on personalised number plates, so when that has been on there a long time, and I think they may have even reduced that. Yeah. I think they had that up for more at one point, and I thought the same as you, like, no chance. But I don't know about personalised number plates, so I could have been wrong.
So with a personalised number plate, what I normally tend to do, so when I bought my EC70, is I think about the year of the next vehicle that's coming out, and I see what derivatives will work within that plate, you know. I think I looked at one a little while back, and it was it spelled out TMNT, so Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So yeah, that I look at things like that. I've got one on which is currently off of my van at the moment, which has my initials, and it's an FAB one from Thunderbirds. Yeah. And everyone goes, what a cool number plate. But it means something to me because it was a gift from my wife, and it more likely doesn't mean much to anybody else. So yeah. So I think, as I say, with regards to the 15 grand number plate, no chance.
What would you say is a reasonable price for that?
It's more likely, I'd say you're looking at £1,000 to 1,500 quid for that.
If someone offered you 15 grand for your one, would you take it?
More likely at this moment in time, yeah.
Yeah, cool. I'm not going to offer you that, I don't know.
Okay.
Next up, we've got a 3D printed proton pack, Ecto Goggles, PK meter, belt, boots, radio suit bundle. This is in America, so with the exchange rate, it's 6,664 pence. No, £6,664 and 1 pence, sorry.
Or best offer.
Or best offer. I mean, they're dreaming.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, very, very good luck with that. I mean, it's 3D printed, the market just isn't there to get, maybe at one point in time, maybe, it still seems a bit much even
I
going back.
think, yeah.
Yeah, the market ain't there for that sort of stuff, not with all the proton packs.
I think the problem with a lot of these things we're looking at now, and obviously me and Darren have discussed this earlier, with being big collectors and that, the market just isn't there for anything at the moment.
No, that is the other problem.
You know, whether you be the buyer or the seller, it is very, very difficult and tricky at the moment. Yeah, it's a hard market.
Yeah. Next up, we've got, I think we're going to be seeing a few of these. It's the Eagle Moss Build the Ecto One Complete. And for complete, they've got it up for £4,636 and 68 pence with free delivery. Again, I think they're dreaming. Those build, and not just the Ecto One, those build sets, they never seem to hold their value.
No, they don't. Very, very few of them I've ever seen. Like when you break it down to how much you've actually spent on it. So those average builds, they normally work out to being £1,000 and £1,200 to build them.
I feel like the Ecto might have been maybe 1,400-ish, near that range.
I mean, I've seen most of these builds go for between like a complete car for between £800 and £1,000.
Yeah, this I don't know if this has been made. This hasn't really made it clear whether this is made or just all the packs, but either way, it's not worth £4,500.
No, I mean, because you're talking way more than the Blitzway.
Yes, and which is a good transition, because our next one is the Blitzway Ecto One. It does include the figures, £4,000. I'm just going to say £4,000.
Right. Again, myself and Darren both own the Blitzway.
Yeah, and we both own the figures.
Yeah.
I've even got the Afterlife Blitzway. Fantastic cars. I never paid full price for them.
No, well, there's a little story with me with the Blitzway. During lockdown, a gentleman advertised the Blitzway, and it had been on this certain website for quite a while. It had a damaged windscreen. Somebody had put a sticker on it, stuck it in a shop window, and the glue on the back of the
wrecked the window.
Wrecked the windscreen. It had been up for £1,500. He'd had no takers on it of £1,500. Anyway, long story short, I think I offered him £700 for it. Taking an immense chance. I drove down and picked it up. And I'd done my research. I come back. I started off with 400 grade sandpaper and worked my way down to 4,500 grade wet and dry. And I polished all the damage out of the windscreen, and you wouldn't even know it ever existed. I frightened myself when I first started doing it, but I've got it perfectly restored.
You've done a brilliant job with that.
Yeah.
I got my original one wholesale, which I think wasn't actually a lot of money in these when you compared to the retail price. I think wholesale was about £1,200.
Yeah.
And then the Afterlife version, I never really intended to buy it. It just come up cheap on eBay. I had to go and collect it, and I think I paid £1,000 for that.
Yeah.
Both are sitting in cupboards at the moment. I ain't got room to display them, which is the problem with the bigger ones. Is it's not just the money, it's the space. Those things are massive.
Yeah, you're looking at something now on the size of this dinner table.
Yeah, so it's a hard sell just for the size thing, as well as the price. I mean, this one's collection only as well, so you've got to, if you're doing it collection only, you've got to rely on someone either being local or someone who's willing to drive a long time for it. This does include the figures. When you were... I guess what the figures were going for at one point in time were going for quite a lot. The car, its retail value is probably in theory not a bad price, but I don't think you'd get that for it.
No, and the problem is that no matter how much we look at some of these items and we go, oh, the price is this, the price is that, no one's got £4,500 that they, even if it was a good price, that they can just at this moment in time are willing to pull out their back pocket and drop on something like this. Yeah,
and that ultimately is the problem. And I mean, we've got more again. We've got another Eagle Moss. I won't go into that. We've got another. This is just the Blitzway figures. And they want $3,500. I think that I've never seen them go for that much.
No,
the figures did shoot up for quite a while, but they never went for that.
I think the most I saw those going for was about 225, something like that. So again, it's still a lot of money for 4 figures.
Yeah.
You know, and again, you've got to have deep pockets for these things. You know.
We've got another private number plate. This one is slimed SL11MED, $3,500.
Yeah.
Again, I guess similar opinion to the previous one, really. It's a bit much.
And I've got to be honest, I'd look at that and I'd think it looked like slimmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe if you rang Slimming World or something.
Yeah, that's it. Fat Fighters or something, you'd be laughing, but yeah.
Yeah. And then, so just scrolling through, and we've got more of quite a few of the Blitzways. This one doesn't show a picture. This is one of the VHS, the 1985 Ghostbusters VHS movie Red Border RE graded, sealed. $4,500, so that's £3,332
for a video cassette. I know grading in videos became a big thing within the past, more than likely 6 or 7 years, I'd have thought, because videos have really come back into their own.
Yeah.
I love a video. I'm not gonna say I don't. And ironically, I was up in my loft having a bit of a tidy up a week or so ago, and I found a portable DVD player with the built-in video, which I think we're gonna maybe take to some conventions and pop a video on, which would be quite good. But I mean, who's going to drop that sort of money? That's
a lot of
That's
money.
aimed at not a Ghostbusters collector. That's aimed at a video collector.
Yeah, video collector. And I know some sealed videos have gone for a lot of money.
Yeah,
I've seen, but I've never seen one go for that sort of money. I think sometimes people they see something that's gone for a lot of money, so they immediately think, "Oh, I've got a sealed one. I'll grade it."
Yeah,
and suddenly it's. I won't go into my thoughts on grading.
No, me and Darren are both on the same wavelength when it comes to grading.
Basically, there's only one person qualified to grade something, and that's the person buying it, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, or the person that owns it, that's it. He's,
Now, this next thing has been on eBay for years, and they've never sold it. Rare, Matty Collector Ghostbusters Ghost Trap, mint condition. Now, I'm sure anyone watching this knows the Matty Collector trap.
Yeah.
I would have thought. Fantastic trap, the first official replica of the movie version.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. £3,320. They've had this on eBay for years.
This is a gentleman that doesn't want to sell his ghost trap. His wife said to him, "You've got to sell that shit or you're in trouble."
Yeah, so he's put it up.
So he's put it up knowing that that's never going to sell.
No,
so you're still in trouble, mate. So
yeah, there's no chance. I mean, the Matty trap did go up in value, but it never went to that value.
No.
I think the most, maybe $1,500 at the very top end.
Back in the day, but not even now. I don't think
the price of them has plummeted. I mean, I've seen people not even get 300 quid for them now.
Yeah.
We've got a Blitzway, then we've got Chronicles Collectibles Terror Dog Wall Mount Bust 1-1. It's not far off $3,000. I think they were about 800 quid when they come out.
I've got to be honest, if it's the one that I'm thinking of, I'm not a big fan of it, okay? This is the open mouth version of the Terror Dog.
Yeah.
I think it's a new sculpt, isn't it? It's not based on... Is it based loosely?
I can't remember, if I'm completely honest.
I mean, back in the day when a few of us managed to acquire the full-size Terror Dog head, we had the ones which Carnivorous Creations had bought the moulds for, which was the original one from Boss Studios. I know a few people, I think Jeff Schreck and I'm trying to think who else owns one. There's a few guys that own a latex pull out of that one. I own a resin that's pulled out of that particular mould, and that's the same one that Ghost Corps have on their wall.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not a big fan of this. So yeah, I don't think it's worth the sort of money.
No, and I think as well. I mean, there's a newer one out now as well, in there by Trick or Treat Studios, which I get not the most detailed, but it's still a big terror dog head if you want one on your wall, and that's like 250 quid.
Yeah.
Retail. So yeah, yeah. So I think we should look at one more thing on here, because the rest of it just seems to be blitzways until we start getting into the cheaper end stuff. And that is a Olympia Latan book clutch. Yeah, I don't know. 2006, that's £2,962. And this appears to be a bag. It's a bag that's designed to look like the VHS Ghostbusters or a book, yes. Now, Olympia Latan sounds French to me.
Yeah.
And I am going to speculate that this is just some high-end, in fact I could just read the description, couldn't I?
Let's read the description.
Olympia Latan Ghostbusters limited edition, 27 of 32, sold out in stores, clutch bag, highly sought after piece of art. Applique, felt embroidered, handmade with love in Italy. Oh, that was wrong, it wasn't French. Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters collectible, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to assume it's just some high-end handbag make that's probably not even licensed. They've probably just made 30 of these with Ghostbusters logo on. And
how much are they looking for?
$4,000, so £2,962.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't get it.
No, I don't get it. I mean, it might be a high-end brand that does go for that sort of money. I wouldn't know, but I can't imagine that the average Ghostbusters fan would
be even vaguely interested.
I imagine that's a sort of posh, high society snobby type that would buy that. And would they want one with a Ghostbusters logo on? I have no idea.
Yeah, yeah. I again, as I say, it's quite a niche item, isn't it?
Yeah, very odd.
What's interesting for me is obviously with Darren running down these sort of top 20 or top 30 most expensive items listed on eBay relating to Ghostbusters. There's no props. Not actual.
In fact, I'm going to keep scrolling through and just to see if we do see any props. Found a screenplay, movie screenplay.
Yeah.
2,700. Or more matty props. Oh, Jesus Christ. Set of 2 Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights glasses from 2019. I only want over £2,000.
Yeah.
Vintage
Slight
Heroes.
So this is interesting, yeah. So where we were saying about the cost of Ecto Glows. So these are suddenly starting to become a little bit more difficult to find, I think, than Ecto Glows.
Yeah.
As Darren said, these are the Ghostbusters Slimed Heroes.
Yeah. This is the full set of 5.
Yeah.
Mint on card. They're graded.
UK graded, not AFA.
Yeah.
And
2,300.
As we're talking about grading, I'm not one for grading either, but I do actually own a set of graded Slimed Heroes. I think I gave £1,200 for mine as part of a deal like that I'd done with somebody. So basically, mine were looking at about $250 a figure, around that sort of mark, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because I've always considered them a little harder to get than Ecto Glows. They always seemed like less of them around than Ecto Glows, and Ecto Glows are the ones that went for the most money, which I always found interesting. Again, not into grading. My Ecto Glows are graded, but I didn't buy them because they're graded. It just was a decent price, and I would have paid that regardless. But yeah, I'm just scrolling through. No props. There are some autographs. Harold Ramis signed autograph Starlog, 2,132. I don't really follow autograph prices, so I couldn't say if that's good or not.
Sounds quite expensive, but I know Harold's autograph does still command quite a high value. So.
Yeah, and I guess that's the thing. Once someone passes on, that sort of stuff does does shoot up. But yeah, I'm not seeing any actual props, which surprises me. No, oh no, hold on. We have found something. 1984 Ghostbusters prop slime original movie prop arm pieces, certificate of authenticity. So this is basically just bits of latex that fell off the arm. 1,777 pounds.
Yeah.
Now the trouble with that, I think, is it'd be cool to have a part of the original Slimer costume, but that, because of what those costumes are made of, they've degraded over time, and this is just basically a pile of like latex rubber stuff that's deteriorated. And if you buy that at any price, is that going to deteriorate even more?
I think that's going to be something that you're going to have to get somebody to work on and to stop that degrading any further. So you're going to be throwing at least what you've just spent on that again on top of that I think something's just not worth throwing the money at, I guess. But I think that's enough looking at that. I'll talk one more thing, because I'm curious of your opinion on the watch. The Seiko, is it Seiko? Seiko.
Yeah, the M516-4009 Ghostbusters voice recorder. So I've seen a couple further down, and the average price seems to be about £1,800.
Yeah.
Very expensive watches. I don't have one. You have? I think you bought a replica.
I bought a replica from CNA Props. It was a great replica. It was for an absolute fraction of the cost, and maybe it's something at some stage when money isn't an issue or a problem that I'd more likely purchase. But in the meantime, I'm quite happy with my prop.
And I just find that a lot for such an obscure
item.
Like I don't know if I'd ever pay. If CNA Props ever do another one, I might be tempted, but I wouldn't pay that sort of level for it. I don't think I could. That just seems crazy to me. And I guess with things like that, you have the watch collectors and the Ghostbusters collectors after it. So it probably pushes the price up. But I think that wraps up that. Anything else you want to add before we sign off?
No, just excuse the noise in the background, because that's my dog looking for a bowl. Our terror dog looking for a drink in his bowl. So but he's earned it. He's earned it. He's been very quiet tonight, so
which is unusual. Well, thank you for watching, supporting the channel. Our next video, I think, is going to be on food
items. So we'll I'd say please excuse the fact that we was a little bit slow getting this one out. As I say, it's just work commitments got in the way. But we will. I guess sometimes, like, Christmas gets a bit awkward, so we might try and film a few more in advance, which does mean we might be a little slow with updates if like a new figure turns up. I mean, I'm hoping next time we record we'll have Mondo. Fingers crossed.
We shall see. But anyway, thanks for watching, listening wherever you are. Don't forget to like and subscribe this. Check us out on our other social medias: Magic Ghostbuster, Vigo the Cosplaythian for me, Spirit of 84 for Chris, and we'll see you next time. But until then, we are ready to believe you.
The last of the petty cash went down the drain for Twinkies and coffee and a busted chain. No more donuts, no more caffeine rain, just saving the city and feeling the strain. Ray's got a plan, but it's held with tape. Egon's experiments always misbehave. Venkman's flirting, but it's all escape, while the bank account looks like a dried up lake. The last of the petty cash went down the drain for Twinkies and coffee and a busted chain. No more donuts, no more caffeine rain, just saving the city and feeling the strain. Ray's got a plan, but it's held with tape. Egon's experiments always misbehave. Venkman's flirting, but it's all escape, while the bank account looks like a dried up lake. The last of the petty cash went down the drain for Twinkies and coffee and a busted chain. No more donuts, no more caffeine rain, just saving the city and feeling the strain. Janine shouting, the budget's toast. Ghost traps buzzing, but we're broke the most. No time to worry when there's a haunting post, but who knew fighting dreams if we're really stuck. Maybe one big ghost could change our clock, but for now we're broke.